Sweetie Pie, Baby Cakes, Sugarfoot. I already told you that you were doing way too much in my review for episode 17. Did I not? Did I not tell you that you dropped the mic in episode 16? You already did it. Only for you to bring your behind back here on episode 18 and act an even bigger fool? This is how you want to go out, girl? This is what you want to do? Child, let's talk about it.
Roxy says we're gonna talk about it.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Roxy with Roxy Says, and we're going to talk about it. Today, we are reviewing Married at First Sight. I cannot even remember the season. I'm so hot. Episode 18, okay? Listen, I know I tell y'all every episode, usually, that I'm irritated, and I do be irritated, but this one, it takes the cake. This episode took the cake for me. Let's get into it. But before we do, please don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you are made aware every time I post a new video. I think I had to sing my little Calm Down Girl song like 5 times while watching this episode. I hit pause maybe 10 times, okay? Let's get into this review. So it is the season finale, and I was pissed off before I even saw the episode because I saw some clips floating around, and I was like, I know that that's not real. That's not really what's going to happen. That must be AI. It must be, okay? So we pick up where we left off with Madison. She's popping shit about Michelle, saying that everyone knew that her and David weren't going to stay together. So when Michelle comes over, she tells Madison that she's upset because she stuck up for her and she vouched that Madison would never do that. And we saw it. Michelle was a bit apprehensive to even bring it to Madison because she was like, I don't think she would do something like that. I don't want to just accuse her without any proof, okay? She didn't want to jump out the window with it. And now she's actually embarrassed because Madison played in her face. She did. And then they start arguing and they start passively aggressively calling each other babe. I don't know, babe. What do you want to do, babe? I don't know, babe. What do you want to do, babe? And Madison keeps asking Michelle, why does she care about the situation? Why do you even care? Why does it even matter? And the reason why Madison keeps asking Michelle that is because she's trying to take the David angle of the situation when Michelle is telling you why she's mad at you. She already explained why she's mad at you. So Madison, there's no villain for you to blame in this story. David has Michelle, okay? David has Michelle as the villain in his story, which he has used to justify his actions, and y'all allow him to do so. But Madison doesn't have a villain. She doesn't have that luxury. Allan is the victim in her story. He's never been a villain to her. He's never been mean to her. And she would be a complete fool to try to make him out to be one now. So she has to make someone the villain. Who else is it going to be other than Michelle? Okay. And that's absolutely ridiculous. Michelle did nothing at all to Madison. Okay. Now for the people who are standing firm that Michelle is the reason why David did what he did. Okay, great. But that isn't a damn bus pass that David can transfer over for Madison to use as well. No, ma'am. All right. And Michelle says, even though I said that David would never be my man, y'all still lied to my face for 2 months. Y'all still lied to me for 2 months. Do you not understand how that's upsetting? And you can tell that Madison is grasping for straws because she really asks Michelle again, well, why do you care? Girl, what? She just told you why she cares. She just told you why it's upsetting to her. The way that I would have asked Madison, girl, are you dumb? Are you dumb? Can you not hear? I just explained this to you. And even Michelle is like, girl, are you living in La La Land? I did nothing to you. You did something to me. You messed with my husband. See, but all those nights that David and Madison were out getting tacos, David was talking shit about Michelle, and now Madison feels justified. Okay, cool. Madison, when you and David get a little rocky, okay, and he starts going to the gym without you, and he makes a little friend, and she starts asking him how his day was on the days that you haven't asked him, you should have no problem with it. You should understand 1000%. You should be the most understanding, actually. Matter of fact, you should be bringing them tacos to the gym, okay? That's how understanding you should be in that situation. Because the way that you're acting towards Michelle, you see absolutely no problem in what you did. So keep that same energy when the tables turn and you become the Michelle in David's life and some other woman becomes the new Madison, all right? I bet you'll understand it then. So after this back and forth, now we see why Madison is really upset. She's upset that Michelle confronted her about messing with David. I guess she wanted her to do it off cameras or something. So essentially, Madison's mentality is, why would she even ask me about that? Like, why couldn't she come to me in private? She didn't even like David. So like, why is she mad that I lied to her face for weeks? It doesn't even make any sense. I mean, even though she came to me and she confided in me about issues that she was having with David, and I was acting like I wasn't messing with him, and I was acting like I was giving her genuine information and advice, I still don't get why she would be upset with me, because like, why does she even care? That's how stupid Madison sounds. So David pulls her aside and he says, okay, we're going to leave, because he knows that she sounds like an idiot as well. But at least he has a bit of sense. He has a bit of sense to leave the situation before it escalates. Because clearly the only line that Madison practiced in the mirror before coming here was, why do you care? Why do you care? And he says that he doesn't want the ladies to go back and forth over his mistakes. And Madison says, it wasn't a mistake. Ain't no mistakes over here. We didn't make any mistakes. Thank you, Madison, for admitting what we already knew. Thank you, girl. Thank you. His little gym story, we just happened to fall in love. We didn't plan it. It wasn't intentional. Thank you so much for confirming that this wasn't something that y'all just fell into and that y'all consciously started messing with each other, because it was not a mistake, in your words, all right? And as Madison and David are leaving, they're walking down the stairs. She's mocking Carla. She's giggling. She's laughing. She's like, where are my devil horns? Where are my devil horns at? Now, I told y'all in my last review that she was dressed like the devil's wife at a Christmas party, looking a hot mess. So clearly that's the look that she was going for, all right? So we see Michelle, she's in her confessional and she starts crying because she's upset, because she feels like they're still trying to spin the narrative that everything is all her fault, even though she was the one who was lied to for months. And honestly, regardless of whatever Michelle had with David, Madison's behavior tonight, if I was Michelle and I didn't want a damn thing to do with David, okay? Fine. But the way that Madison is acting tonight would definitely piss me off too. It would be so frustrating and upsetting, all right? But then Michelle continues in her confessional and she's like, it's just unfair that they get to show up here together tonight and I have to leave this experience all alone. Okay, Michelle, so you got to leave alone as opposed to leaving with what? David? Girl, you can go in any mama's basement and pull you out of damn David, okay? And I am sure that mother would be more than happy that you get that grown-ass son out of her damn basement, all right? So Madison and David are leaving. We see them giving each other kisses, and he's thanking her for being his good little pit bull for him. And as they're walking by a boxing ring, Madison is like, ooh, put Michelle in the ring with me. I bet she won't last 2 seconds. What did I say in my last review? Madison wants to be on Zeus. Put her on Zeus. She want to fight. Clearly she wants to fight. That's the type of time that she's on. Put her ass on Zeus. She is on the wrong show. Put her on baddies so she can mess with one of their men, okay, and then try to fight them and argue with them about it. Let's see what happens. Let's see how many minutes she lasts, all right? So it's 3 days after decision day, and we see Madison and David. They're on a little date. I guess this would be them focusing on themselves, because that's what they told the experts that they were going to do. So I guess this is how they do it, all right? So we see them go to a tattoo parlor because David is going to get a cover-up of his ex's name that he has tatted on his chest, and he mentioned that to Madison when they were on their little honeymoon gym date, like the second day that they met. Yeah, something like that. So they speak about Michelle, and Madison thinks that Michelle is playing the victim card. And what card are you playing, Madison? What's the name of your card? Cleanup woman card? Like, what's your card? I would love to know. Then when the tattoo artist comes back, they start talking about the craziest places that they've ever had sex. Okay, first of all, I do not believe for 1 second that this is the first time that y'all have had this conversation or a conversation like it. Not at all. Second of all, why did y'all choose to have this conversation in this order, okay? Y'all could have spoken about all the sex stuff before he came and saved the Michelle conversation that's more appropriate for when he came back, okay? Y'all wait until he comes back to start asking each other where y'all had sex and all this stuff. Were y'all trying to hint at something with him? Were y'all trying to recruit him to join you? I have questions, all right? Anyway, the cover-up looks absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. I have seen way better cover-ups than that, but whatever. But David says that this cover-up is the start of his new journey with Madison. Okay, so next we see Carla and Juan. They're moving out and they're chatting about the party that happened last night. And Juan asks Carla if they're going to stay friends. And she asks him, well, what does friendship mean to you? And Juan says, remaining cordial, grabbing coffee together. And Carla tells him that she would prefer not spending so much time with him moving forward. And I 1000% feel her on that. Carla's like, look, I did my 8-week bid and I'm done. I'm out of here, okay? And in her confessional, she says that she came here for a husband, not a friend. So she thinks that it's best if she just closes this chapter in her life and she focuses on herself. And Jonathan, you should do the same, all right? So they give each other a goodbye hug and they leave, and that's that. Juan does say in his confessional that he would still like to see her and chat with her every now and then, but I feel like Carla will be leaving him on red. I honestly do. So next we see Tom and Camille. They're still going strong, and we see that they've decided to move into Tom's place, and he says that he's going to have to definitely make some concessions to make the space work for the both of them, but he is more than happy to have Camille there with him. He tells her his plans for their parking spaces and getting her own keys and all of that. So Camille is definitely happy that Tom is finally taking charge of the situation, and it does seem like this is what he wanted to do all along. He just didn't want to make any concrete moves until he knew for sure that she was going to say yes, all right? So we later see them in the apartment, and they're rearranging his closet and making room for her clothes, and they're discussing how they're going to navigate sharing one bathroom. And Tom is a little nervous of what Camille is going to think living in his apartment because he's turning his bachelor pad into a marital home. But I honestly don't think that Camille cares about any of that. She really just wanted to live with her husband after they got married. And we later see them decorating the place together. Tom, as long as you keep that earring in and you keep wearing those Jordans, you will be fine. Y'all will be more than fine, okay? We then see Carla and Michelle. They're on a little girls' date. They're talking about how much they've bonded over this experience and what they've learned. And Michelle says that she is ready to get back out there and be with someone for real. And Carla says that this experience has shown her what she will not accept in a relationship moving forward. And they both agree that since their marriages were never consummated and they both only kissed their spouses on the wedding day, no tongue, no nothing, their marriages didn't even count. And that had me cracking up, all right? So it's day 6 after decision day, and we see Madison with her dad, and she tells him that she's been super stressed after connecting with one of the other husbands in the group, and she claims that she felt so much shame and so much guilt. Okay, so the stunt that you pulled the other night when you were acting all big and bad, that was all an act. Is that what you're saying? Or was it liquid courage? What was it? But she says that she felt so bad because Allan was hurt, and I was like, Did you know? Did you know? Because he was sitting right there when you were walking around all big and bad saying that what happened between you and David was not a mistake. So I don't know. He was sitting there. That's all I'm saying. And her dad doesn't want her to feel guilty because it's not all on her. Madison then tells her dad that she connected with David immediately. Immediately, okay? And she started catching feelings for him after David told her what he was going through with Michelle. But Madison also tells her dad that she doesn't know what to do with David just yet because she isn't sure if these feelings are real or not. And her dad says, hey, the heart wants what the heart wants. You can't help it. It wants what it wants. I just want to know if he's going to ask David to go get an STD test and show Madison the results the same way that he told Allan to do. That's what I want to know, all right? So next we see getting ready for a little date, and she's saying that she is ready to get back out there. And I wasn't mad at this at all. I was like, you know what, decision day has come. Everything is done. Y'all aren't divorced yet, but the process is over, okay? I wasn't mad at it, not at all, until she got on the date and we started learning more about this guy. So his name is Brandon, and she met him in elementary school, okay? And she hasn't seen him since. Translation, she doesn't know him. She doesn't know him. She does not, okay? She says that they reconnected on social media and he asked her out on a date and she accepted because he's grown into a nice, handsome young man, okay? So on this date, he tells her that he is staying on his sister's couch because he's going through a divorce. He's staying on his sister's couch. And is like, oh yeah, me too. I'm going through a divorce too. We so much alike. Girl, you are not staying on your sister's couch though. You have your own place. You got your own spot where you can lay your head and your own air fryer. Y'all are not going through the same thing, okay? Y'all situations are not the same at all. I don't know why y'all high-fiving each other over the table talking about me too. So him and his ex, they were together for 10 years, and him and his ex-wife got married only 6 months after meeting. He was 26 years old, okay? And then he starts speaking more, and my blood really started to boil, okay? Because he says, for 10 years, I was moving in the wrong direction. And I was in the right car. But baby, I was driving down the wrong street. And I had my navigation and it kept messing up. But I always had the same destination. I said, sir, what the are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh, look at here. We have another Riddler, just like Aatchi. So, you left one Riddler to get with another Riddler, just saying a whole bunch of nothing. And is sitting there soaking it all up, talking about, She tells him that her ex wasn't nice to her, which is true, okay? He screamed at her. He called her derogatory names, all that. Then he asks her how long she was married to Aatchi for and how long did they know each other before they got married. And I said, oh, okay, I see what's happening here. So the same way that David and Madison were in that tattoo parlor, acting like that was the first conversation that they ever had about sex, y'all are gonna act like this is the first conversation that y'all had about this? Like y'all aren't on a damn TV show right now? Okay, I see what we're doing. I bet as soon as you told him that you were currently on a TV show, he hopped his ass off of his sister's couch and ran down here to get some clout. So we learned that he has 2 children, an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old. He's a lieutenant for the fire department. He has a real estate license and he's a volunteer coach. And he was about to list more things, and then the server came with the food. Okay, so we didn't see the end of that conversation. He also tells her that this date feels like a dream, and he's so happy to have a second chance with her because he sees them being something great. And if she lets him take her out on a second date, he promises that she won't regret it. And he says when he falls, oh baby, he falls hard. He falls hard and he don't play any games. The way I would have been like, oh, so you just be falling for strangers? Because you really don't know me. You don't know what I've been up to since elementary school. Honestly, I might rob your ass tonight. I might, because you don't know me. You don't. But of course, she is soaking it all up. She's super excited, head in the clouds, brain up her damn ass, okay? So next we see Allan and Juan. They're chatting, and we see that Juan is still saying that he wants a friendship with Carla, but they just haven't spoken as much since the move out. And I love that for Carla. She's not about to let you waste her time, Juan, even as a friend. For what? For what? Allan says that he's been on a couple of dates, but he's not taking anything too seriously, but he has been exploring his sexual urges, okay? And when Juan tells him to elaborate, he gets all shy. I'm like, Allan, you brought it up. You're the one who brought it up, so speak on it. Don't be shy now, okay? Your ex is over there with her new man trying to set up a damn threesome with the guy who works at the tattoo parlor, okay? Don't worry about it. You're fine. But he does say that he had to use his Googles, to research what some of these acronyms are that would be on these young ladies' profiles, things like BDSM and stuff that he said that he isn't familiar with. But I'm like, Allan, are you sure that you weren't familiar? Because remember, you were at the couples retreat asking questions about who likes latex and stuff like that. Who likes you? Okay, so I'm pretty sure you know what BDSM was. Okay, let's not do this, Allan. So he's been getting his freak on clearly. Good for you. I love that. Allan says that he is still a nice guy despite what Madison did to him. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? Allan says that he is still a nice guy and he cannot change who he is deep down because what someone else did to him. You know why? Because Allan is aware that he's an adult. He's aware that he's an adult, and at the end of the day, his actions are his decision. And how he treats people, right? That's his decision. And he knows that he's going to be held accountable for his actions, if by no one else, at least by himself. He's going to hold himself accountable. So he's not going to go out there and act a fool and be like, well, Madison made me do it. She cheated on me. He has more of a reason to act a fool out of anybody. I was heartbroken. My ex did this, blah, blah, blah. So I'm about to treat other people like shit. No, he doesn't do that. Why? Because Allan's a big boy. Allan's a big boy. Do you know how dope it is and how much strength it takes to not let another person dictate your actions? That is strength, okay? And you still stay true to yourself no matter what someone else does. That's true strength. Major props to Allan for that. A lot of people can learn from you, sir, all right? So decision day was now 8 days ago, and we see Dave and Madison again. Let me just say this. I'm going to be real with y'all. I started putting the episode on 2.5 speed every time these two came on my screen. I did because I really don't care about anything they're talking about. I really don't care. They're eating ice cream, okay? And apparently they had sex this morning. Whoop-de-doo. David said that it was really good. Madison said that it was pretty good. Pretty good. But she says that she feels a lot closer to David now and their relationship feels more solidified because we're supposed to believe that last night or this morning was the first time that y'all slept together. So now things feel more, okay, child, whatever. So they discuss boundaries and triggers, and Madison asks David that in the event of feelings changing between them, please just tell her. Just be straight up, have a conversation with her so that he doesn't get caught doing something, that he shouldn't be doing. And I said, oh, no, David doesn't have to have a conversation with you about anything. Not at all. Where they do that at? Okay, that's not how David gets down, but you already knew that. He doesn't have to have a conversation with you. Why would you expect anything different from David? If he cheats on you, girl, it's your fault. It's your fault. Have you not gotten the memo? David defenders, y'all didn't send Madison the memo. At least send the girl the memo so she know what the hell is going on. Oh my, y'all are slacking. Y'all are really slacking, all right? Next, we see and Camille and Carla, and they're meeting up for a little girls' night at MM's place. Camille says that her and Tom are still good, and she's starting to laugh at his jokes now. And I said, did you start wearing that lingerie? Now, mind you, we're going to see what happens later in the episode, but I swear this is what I wrote. I swear this is what I wrote in my notes. Did you start wearing that lingerie? Or are you still wearing that Foot Locker shirt? That's what I wrote, okay? Carla says that she's doing well, and she took some time to cry and release Juan and the marriage. And tells them that she feels great and she feels free, and she went on a little date. And they're like, ooh, girl, tell us, give us the details. And she's like, well, he's tall. He's a firefighter. He's buff. And I hopped in and I was like, and he's sleeping on his sister's couch. Yeah. Don't forget that part. And she says that he's really nice to her. And I'm like, yeah, because y'all just met. Y'all don't know each other. Of course he's going to be nice. He's not going to come up to you with the bullshit. No. Why are you moving like you so green, like you not grown, like you ain't been out here? Why are you acting like that? She says that he's picking her up tonight for a date, and it was easy for her to get back out there. So he comes over. All right, Brandon comes over. He meets the ladies, and baby, the way that Carla was looking at this man, she was sitting there like squinting her eyes, almost like she was scanning his chakras and his energy right there as he was sitting there. It was all over her face. She was not impressed. And I was like, same, sis. Same. All right. I need to know how long you've been chatting with this guy for real, because decision day was 8 days ago, right? But you and Aatchi got into it after decision day, right? So less than a week ago, you were crying over your ex-husband Aatchi, and now you have a stranger in your home sitting on your couch. Is my mathing? Please let me know. And do you feel safer bringing him to your home because you're on a TV show and there's cameras around? Or is this something that you would have done without the cameras as well? I have questions. I really do. So he goes on to tell him, the last 2 years of my life have been the roughest, okay? And everything has been just falling apart. And the tunnel, it just kept getting darker and darker. But now, I see the outside of the tunnel. I see the outside of the tunnel, and I see the light. And Carla is not impressed at all. Not impressed. So she asks him, so you didn't have any light before? And he was like, nope, no light at all. And is sitting there. She's like, I'm the light, girl. Yeah, I'm the light. I'm the light, all hype and excited. This man is telling you that he is darkness. This man is telling you that he is darkness, sis. He's telling you that you're his only hope in life. Sir, what about them babies? Don't you got 2 kids? They're not even light in your life? Nothing? This is not flattering. This is scary. All jokes aside. If someone tells you that you all they have, you their only hope, they don't got anything else going on in life but you, run. That is scary, okay? So tells the ladies that they can lock up her apartment and she's just going to go on a date with Brandon. So she's leaving Camille and Carla in her apartment. Okay, whatever. And Carla and Camille are there talking about Brandon. And Carla says exactly what I was thinking. He needs to have more light at the end of his own tunnel than just Is that the only light that you have? What are you bringing to this relationship? Red flag. And I said, exactly, Carla. Exactly. Carla is my girl. So next we see our long lost cousin, Rafu. Rafu, where you been, cuz? Where you been? Rafu, I'm disappointed in you. I'm disappointed. I thought you was going to come through and regulate like you did with Aatchi. You didn't do that, bruh. You didn't do that, all right? So is telling her cousin that her and Aatchi are done and she's been dating. And apparently, Brandon has already called Rafu and told him his entire situation and told him that he has good intentions with Of course, what else is he gonna say? Listen, Brandon ain't wasting any time. He making calls and sending faxes and shit. He's trying to get off his sister's couch, okay? I understand. And Rafu says that he's cool with Brandon and he's known him for 20 years. And I'm like, well, really? Have you really known him for 20 years? Or you just know of him? Okay, I need more information on that. If you ran into someone who you were friends with in elementary school and you haven't seen him since, can you vouch for that person? Do you know what they've been up to and what kind of life they've lived since elementary school? shit, since junior high, since high school, since college? Can you vouch for that person and say, I know who that person is. I know what type of person that they've been over the years. You can't. So anyway, Brandon shows up and he gives his little elevator pitch to Rafu. And he's like, I could be out here, but I don't want all these girls. I want one girl. And this is real. And that's all I could say. And Rafu, he was like, okay, that sounded perfect. That sounded like a good line. And maybe it's from a good place. Maybe it's from the heart. But how do you plan on making this work? And Rafu also reminds him that he has 2 children. The 2 children who don't bring any light in his life. Yeah, Rafu has to remind him of that. And he says that he's open to having kids. And MM says that she's open to having kids, but she's not in a rush. And Brandon says that he will wait for MM, okay? And they can just learn each other and learn to love each other, all right? He says that they can wait and learn to love each other. This is what he said, all right? Keep that in mind. And he says that love doesn't have an answer. It's just a feeling. And I'm like, okay, so sir, are you saying that you love MM? Is that what you're saying? Anyway, we're going to get to it. Rafu gives them his blessing and MM is super excited. And in her confessional, she says that she wouldn't be moving this fast with Brandon had she not done this show Married at First Sight. But she came here for an experience and to marry someone. And my eyes started twitching when she said that. And Aatchi's voice was ringing in my ear. Aatchi's voice was ringing in my ear because that statement sounded very like, okay, well, it didn't work with Aatchi, so who want to fill this spot? Who want to fill this spot immediately? And we're going to see later in the episode what actually happens and what Aatchi actually says. And I'm irritated, y'all. I really am. So then we see this man get on his knee and propose to MM with no ring. Okay? Did you? No ring. He proposes. So was this a plan? Was this a spur of the moment thing? Did a producer tell you to do it? Like, what's going on here? The fact that you didn't have a ring shows that you were not intentional. This was not part of your plan. Is this a game? Like, what are we doing here? And MM gives him the most unsure yes that I have ever heard. That yes wasn't of excitement. It was kind of like, yeah, like, what are you doing? I don't think that this was planned at all. I don't think that MM knew anything about it at all either. And it's almost like she only said yes in that moment because the cameras were rolling. And all I could think of was, child, this is giving Risa Tisa. It's giving the Risa Tisa story. It's giving love bombing 101. And I really hate that MM doesn't see it. She just doesn't see it. And then we see a few scenes later, they're in a jewelry store finally, and MM is picking out a ring. We didn't see who paid for the ring, but he's sleeping on his sister's couch. So I think it's safe to assume that he did not buy the ring. Either production paid for it or MM paid for it. And I know that she would gladly do that with no problem at all, okay? But before it's even paid for, he proposes again in the store. He tells her that he loves her and she's everything that he's prayed for, and they've known each other for 25 years. And he wants to heal all of her wounds. Child, when he said that, the tears started flowing. Girl, he is playing you. He's saying all the right things. I'm sure that you've told him information about things that have hurt you in the past. I remember that you said that you lost your father. He's playing on all of that. He knows exactly what to say, MM. He does. And MM is crying, and she's saying that she knew that Aatchi wasn't for her, and she knows for sure that Brandon is the one, and she feels so loved right now, and she cannot wait to be Mrs. Williams. Child, next we see David and Madison. They're on a date for her 30th birthday, so the plans are dinner, drinks, and a hotel. I said yippee. Yippee, yippee, hooray, okay? So they just swapped the tacos for dinner and kept everything else the same. Okay, great. Happy birthday, Madison. And he has the waiter bring her a special martini that says, "You look so damn fine. I want to eat you up." Very interesting. Very interesting. That is an odd thing to give to your now girlfriend, right? To have the words of a text message that you claim and she claims wasn't meant for her. Am I missing something here? So you got her a martini with a sexual phrase that you originally meant to text to another woman? Is that what we're supposed to believe? Is that what we're supposed to believe? And Madison just loves that for her birthday? Y'all keep telling on yourselves. It's funny at this point, honestly. And on this date, they really just keep repeating the same stuff about how happy they are now and how excited they are for their future. Okay, next. So child, Camille, she must have heard me talking shit earlier. She must have, because in the next scene, we finally see her put on that lingerie for Tom as a housewarming gift. And I said, okay, because look at me moving the goalpost. The real gift would be that other thing that he asked you for. Okay, the thing that you said that you need to wait until y'all married to do. Y'all's married now. Y'all's married now, okay? You know the thing I'm talking about, the thing that he does for you, but you don't do for him, okay? And girl, if this is your first time wearing lingerie for him, why the hell did you run? If y'all saw the way that Camille ran over to Tom, Camille, why did you supposed to walk over? I ain't gonna show y'all what I do, but I mean, Camille, you should have walked. Camille, you play too much. But they had a good time. Tom was excited, all right? So next we see David and Madison. They go to the hotel room and they tell each other that they want to keep the relationship fun. And they tell each other for the very first time that they love each other and they're excited for the future. And they hug and they kiss. And I'm assuming that they have sex. Yay for them. All right. So now it's Thomas's birthday and everyone is meeting up. Of course, it's going to be very awkward with Madison, David, Michelle, and Allan all being in the same place. But they all came to support Tom, all right? In Madison's confessional, she says that she reached out to Allan prior to this to see if he wanted to meet up, and he respectfully declined, okay? So she's hoping that they can have a cordial conversation about things here. And I'm like, girl, why? Why? What do y'all need to discuss? You said that you made no mistakes. You should have no guilt. Leave Allan alone. Leave him alone. He has a fine woman wrapped up in latex waiting for him back at his home. At his home, I said, not in his mama's basement, okay? He ain't thinking about you. He's not. And of course, she says that this has nothing to do with Michelle and she has nothing to say to Michelle. So we see she shows up with Brandon and she's just too happy to be there with her fiance looking absolutely crazy. And she tells everyone that she's engaged and everyone is like, congratulations. And in their confessionals, they're like, okay, she's moving really fast. This is very soon. I'm a bit worried. Like, no one is genuinely happy because she is moving extremely fast. And I just got to say this. I just got to say it because I noticed it for multiple scenes now in this episode. Since has introduced us to this Brandon guy, she has not looked the same. She has not looked the same. She doesn't look as put together as we usually see her looking. She does look a bit disheveled. And I'm always like looking at and complimenting her on how great she looks. But she looks different in this episode. And I'm like, that's his darkness, sis. That's his darkness sucking all your light. That's what it is. Not a good sign. This is just not the way that I'm used to seeing I don't know if she's stressed. I don't know if she's tired, but this is not the that we usually see. It's just not. Now, I don't know if Brandon is one of those, oh, don't wear any makeup, don't brush your hair. I like my woman looking like she just rolled out of bed type of dudes. I don't know if that's who he is, but I don't know. I hope is okay. I really do. All right. But she tells the ladies that she hasn't told her mom yet because she's afraid that her mom won't think that this is real. Yeah, because what's going on? Her mom would flip. Her mom didn't even like this experience in the first place that had a wedding and everything like that. So if you call your mom and say, hey, the other guy I was going to marry 8 weeks ago, it didn't work out with him, but now I'm engaged to a new guy. Yeah, your mom will think that you playing in her face. She would, all right? And what's the rush? Y'all are both still married. Y'all can't just date until y'all divorces are final. No, he's in a rush because he needs a place to stay. His sister is probably about to kick his ass out, and he is giving hobo sexual, okay? Because he can't stay with his ex-wife, obviously, so he goes to stay on another woman's couch. This woman is his sister, and now he can upgrade from that couch to staying in another woman's home who he can sleep with. Child, it's a win-win for him. I understand why Brandon is in such a rush, honestly. And what this is giving for real is saying, well, shit, I was going to marry Aatchi. I barely knew his ass, right? So why not marry this guy? What's the difference? I'm still on the show. It's still part of the experience. It's still part of the experiment. Anything's a go. Anyone's a go. Right? That's what it's giving. All right. So we see Camille and Tom. They're giving their speeches about starting this new chapter in their lives, and they definitely look very happy together. They really do. So we see them give cheers for Tom and his birthday, and they also congratulate and Brandon on their engagement. And we see Madison in her confessional talking about, I don't feel like everyone supports us in the group, and that's okay. We're just going to be happy and move on, girl. If you didn't feel a way about it, you wouldn't have said anything about it. No. People are not going to go up for you and David's relationship because of the way that y'all started. What's not? Madison, you giving kind of like dits in this episode. Why would you be expecting support with the way that things went down with you and David? Like, why? No one's being mean to y'all. No one is saying y'all can't come around us. Y'all can't, we don't want to hang out with y'all. Y'all are still in the group, but no, people are not going to be praising y'all's relationship. And you should understand that, all right? So then asks what's going on with David and Madison real loud. real loud. She was like, so what have you two been up to? Huh? What's going on? And Allan and Michelle are looking at MM like, and I would have been looking at her like that too, because I thought that Michelle and MM were cool. I thought that MM and Allan were really cool. So why would you even ask that question in such a way as if you're excited for them, right? I didn't like that at all. And Madison says, well, we're being intentional and we're setting boundaries and blah, 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 blah. And MM is like, oh, yes, I love that. MM, what? Girl, are you okay? You love that? What's going on? And Allan just turns around to Michelle and Carla. And he's like, do y'all want to get some shots or something? Exactly, Allan. Because who gives a damn about what Madison is talking about, all right? So David, he says that he has to leave to go to work. You sure that's where he going, Madison? Are you sure? But anyway, they say bye. And someone says, see you later, loser. We don't see on camera who says it. And I feel like they want us to think that it's Michelle who said it. But I think that it was Carla. It sounded more like Carla's voice. I rewinded it a couple times or whatever. You know how they do with editing. But I don't think it was Michelle who said that. It did sound like Carla. And Michelle laughs along with everyone else. And David goes and he speaks to Michelle and he apologizes to her again. And he says, you know what? I should have been honest with you from the start. You know, you didn't deserve this. You're a great woman and I wish you the best. And Michelle says, thank you, thank you. And they part ways and it is what it is. And then she tells Carla that she doesn't need any closure from David because she has already gotten her own closure. Okay. He's only saying those things for himself, for his own satisfaction and to make himself feel better, which is the same exact thing that I said in my previous review about David constantly trying to get Allan to shake his hand. He views that handshake as a form of forgiveness. It's really for him. But I will say that it was indeed a nice gesture. David is doing a lot better than Madison's stupid ass, okay? So, child, next we see Aatchi. Aatchi comes in late as usual. Production just be making Aatchi coming late because they know that when he comes in, he absolutely kills the mood. And everyone is like, oh boy, oh boy. So Brandon is sitting with MM and he's like, so who's that? And she's like, that's my ex-husband. And Brandon laughs. He goes, ha! What? Like, what? What? Okay. Now y'all about to have me like defending Aatchi. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Okay. So as Aatchi is introducing himself to everyone, like Brandon don't even wait. He goes up to Aatchi and he's like, hey, what's up, boss? I'm Brandon. How's it going? I'm Brandon. And I don't know if they reshot this introduction. They had to. They had to have reshot it again because then we see MM and Brandon. They're off to the side kissing, right? They're tonguing each other down. And then Brandon goes back up to Aatchi and he says, hey, EKG. Hey, EKG. I don't know if you understand, but I'm MM's fiance. And Aatchi shakes his hand and he's like, okay, congratulations. Period, Aatchi. I can't believe I'm saying this. Like I'm about to start gagging. Period, Aatchi. Period, Aatchi. Because bro, congratulations. Like what you want me to say? And Brandon is like, yeah, thank you, boss. Seriously. Thank you. As if to say, thank you for letting MM go because she's so great and now I have her. That's what he's saying. But honestly, Brandon is being very thirsty for attention. You can tell that he's looking for a moment. And Aatchi says that he's going to be getting out of there soon because he has a date. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I can definitely say that I understand him wanting to remove himself from that situation because he can already see what type of time Brandon is on. He's doing a lot and he's looking for some type of reaction. It's very obvious. And MM and Brandon are making out all over the place, just kissing every scene. So after kissing, we then see MM. She goes over to Aatchi and she asks him if she can talk to him. And Aatchi says, no, thanks. I'm good. Thank you. Okay. And she's like, are you sure? And he says, yep, I'm good. Now, in my last review, when I said that MM said everything that she had to say in episode 16, she read the shady letter. She gave him a list of therapists and she dropped the mic on Aatchi, right? And I said she did way too much. And I knew that had she showed up and didn't say a damn thing to Aatchi wouldn't have said a damn thing to her. That still stands because clearly that was Aatchi's intentions tonight. Do you think that Aatchi would have walked up to MM and Brandon and been like, oh, hey, what's up? Nice to meet you, sir. Who's this, MM? No, I highly doubt that Aatchi would have done that. I think that he would have paid her the dust that I wanted MM to pay him in the last episode. But some of y'all were in the comments like, oh, MM needed that moment. She needed to let that out. Okay, she let it out then. What's the excuse for tonight? What's the excuse for tonight? Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Okay. Calm down, girl. Hey, it's gonna be okay. Leave him alone. Let me get back to the scene. So after Aatchi declines the conversation, MM is like, okay, well, since you don't want to talk to me in private, I want to apologize for the way that I blew up on you in the last episode. Well, she didn't say episode. Y'all know what I'm saying. Okay, I want to apologize for the way that I blew up on you the last time we were together. And I hope that you sincerely take my apology. I really do. And Aatchi is like, he does not answer her. Okay, from what we can see, he doesn't answer her. So she continues and she's like, it's care. It's coming from a place of care and of love. Girl, shut up. Why are you talking to him? Like I said in my last review, did you make copies of the list of therapists? Because you need to go see the lady. You need to go see the lady too. Because right now you looking a little cuckoo, MM. It's giving obsessed. It's giving annoying. Very annoying. Honestly, truly, if Aatchi had turned to MM and said, girl, can you leave me the alone? I wouldn't even be mad at him. I wouldn't, because at this point, you're doing way too much. Both MM and Brandon are fishing for a reaction out of Aatchi. They really are. And we see that MM pretty much vindicates Aatchi because in his confessional, he says that he could give two Fs about whatever MM has going on. And he also says that he was made to feel like he was in the wrong the whole time. And now it's like, nah, I wasn't in the wrong. Let me stop you there because Aatchi, you were wrong multiple times in the situation. But now we have a little bit more insight onto how MM probably behaved in the relationship that we weren't privy to. But this don't let you off the hook. Just like I know the David defenders are going to remind me that David cheated on Michelle. Don't let her off the hook. Same thing. It don't let you off the hook. We remember how you acted during the relationship, Aatchi. We remember, okay? And he also says, remember, MM just wanted a plug and play husband. It didn't matter who it was. As long as he was ready to go, she was with it. He has a point. He has a point. I think the situation would have looked better for MM if she was just dating, right? We see Allan. I don't think his divorce is final. He doing things, okay? It's not a problem, but it's because she's in such a rush. That adds an extra level of thirst to it. It adds an extra level of desperation to it. Honestly, it adds an extra level of, I don't care who the hell it is. I just need a ring. Right. And I said this in an earlier review too. It gives the impression that MM isn't really concerned about her relationship with the person. She just needs to be able to say that she's married. That's what it's giving at this point. Because if not, why not take the time to get to know him before y'all get engaged? I don't understand. But congratulations, MM. You played yourself. You really did. You're going out real bad, sis. You're going out really, really bad. All right. The new dude is not a flex at all. At least Aatchi had his own place. He ain't sleeping on nobody's couch. Oh my God. And now you just gave him the opportunity to pay you dust and drop the mic on your ass. And he says that he is so sure that this will be done in 3 weeks. He thinks that in 3 weeks, MM and Brandon won't be together. And I don't think so at all. MM is the type who will hold on to that man through whatever. So I won't be surprised if MM is still with Brandon. Will she be telling us everything that happened in the relationship? Probably not, and it ain't our business. But I see MM holding on to Brandon for as long as she possibly can. All right. So next we see Allan. He's addressing the text messages that Madison sent him in front of everyone. And he tells her that there's really nothing left for them to discuss. And Madison, she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand why he can't look her in the eye and blah, blah, blah. Madison, you don't understand a lot of shit in this episode. You're just in total confusion, right? You have no idea why people are acting the way that they're acting towards you. It's so strange, okay? And she says that she wanted to extend an olive branch to Allan and they never got a chance to speak about the situation. Allan says, look, I wish you and David the best, have a good time, more power to y'all. But he says that the breakup really hit him hard and he was down for a while, but he's up now and he's been out there and he's dating and he knows that he's a good guy. And he says that he now feels better about himself and he's been exploring things sexually. I said, okay, Allan, you didn't need to tell us that part. You didn't have to say that in your little speech. Okay, to save that for, a little boys talk with you and Juan. We didn't need to know that. But he does say that although he's exploring, he still wants that one-on-one love with that special person. And he says that the whole life is not for him. He's like, look, I tried it. I'm not built for it, all right? So everyone cheers us to that. And we see Tom and Camille, they're walking out hand in hand as the last couple standing. And Camille says that she is so thankful for this experience and that she was matched with Tom. And she says she hopes that 50 years from now, they can tell their grandkids this crazy story of how they found love. And I was like, that's really cute. That was really cute. But that was the finale, y'all. Tell me all of your thoughts, all of your predictions for the reunion. Child, I know it's going to get messy. I know we're going to get into some things. What do you think about this whole MM situation? I am so irritated with MM. Y'all have no idea. MM don't know me from a can of paint. My opinion don't mean shit, but I'm so disappointed in her. I really am. Let me know all your thoughts, all your predictions. Do you think that Tom and Camille will still be together? Do you think that David and well, we have seen pictures of David. Well, I haven't seen, but y'all have told me that David and Madison have been spotted together around Chicago. So maybe they're still together. Before you leave, please don't forget to hit like, comment, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We are almost at 35K. Thank you all so much. And I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye.
Roxy says we're gonna